Canada's Algoma Steel has seen its stock come under pressure. It's down around 18% this year. President Trump, south of the border, is threatening tariffs on Canadian steel. Let's get more on the company's outlook from the CEO, Michael Garcia. Michael, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Start off with the tariffs. How much of your output goes south of the border? How much of your output would you ship to America, would you say?
Roughly 50%. In some years, it could be as high as 55 or 60%.
And so if you did have to pay a 25% tariff, in addition to existing levies, would that make you uncompetitive in the U.S. market?
Well, it certainly challenges us significantly. We would have to have conversations with each one of our U.S. customers, talk about our increased tariff exposure. Our customers in the U.S. are not spot customers. They're committed to us. We have long-time supply relationships. So we would have a discussion about what the price would need to be. We may share, both of us kind of share the pain of the tariffs. And it would also depend on their alternative. You can't, if you have a long-time steel supplier, you can't switch a supplier, at the drop of the hat in a week or even a month. So it would take time to sort itself out, but certainly it puts half of our order book under extreme pressure.
It's interesting. I mean, you have a complex, long-standing relationship with these customers. I mean, they don't want to see you go out of business, obviously. Well, that's an extreme case, but they want you around as a supplier for the long term.
Certainly. We've been supplying into the U.S. throughout the history of Algoma Steel. We've been here on the banks of the St. Mary's River, literally a few hundred meters from the United States for 120 years. And during that time, we've been an important part of the business of many U.S. customers as well as Canadian customers throughout both countries.
What are your main products? Can you remind us? Do you sell to the auto industry, for example?
We make flat-rolled steels. We make steel coil and discrete plate. We're the only plate producer in Canada. We supply into automotive, into oil country tubular goods, into durable good manufacturing, infrastructure projects like bridges and other large commercial building, large agricultural equipment producers, almost throughout the economy. Wherever you see steel, it's likely a sector Algoma supplies.
You've been through quite a transformation. You've got this electric arc furnace. You hope to get it up and running, or you've started coal commissioning, I believe you call it, but you hope to get actual production by the end of this quarter. Just tell us, how is the electric arc furnace different from the equipment you've been using?
So the electric arc furnace, it takes 70% of our carbon emissions out of our emissions profile because we'll be recycling steel, scrap metal, and other types of metal units to make our steel, rather than making hot iron through a traditional blast furnace using coal and coke and iron ore, and then making iron, which we then convert into steel. We'll be making steel through recycled metal. And that's the most significant change, which will allow us to be much more flexible, lower cost, and much cleaner from an emissions profile standpoint.
And how much will this investment cost, the electric arc furnace? Can you give us a ballpark on it?
We expect it to be right around 870 million Canadian dollars. The vast majority of that spending has already been spent. Our balance sheet is in a very good position to complete the project. As you said, we'll be striking the first arc and producing the first hot metal from the first EAF furnace by the end of this quarter, and April will be a very exciting time for us.
You have something of a technical background. You've a BS in computer science from West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. I'm curious, did you actually serve after that, or did you serve in the armed forces?
I did. I served 5 years in the U.S. Army and the Armored Forces, and I'm a veteran of Operation Desert Storm and Desert Shield.
Thank you. I was just curious. So you have something of a technical background, but how did you find it supervising that process of the electric arc furnace? I guess you had a lot of contractors in, and it's complicated. We all know what any construction project is like.
It is, and I can tell you, our true technical experts at the company would laugh if you heard me if they heard you call me a technical expert. However, we have a fantastic construction project team. We have a fantastic technical steelmaking team. And those two teams, that one project team combined of those types of individuals, have really brought this project to life over the last 3 years. We've used critical upwards of 30 contractors in Ontario have been awarded multi-million-dollar contracts as part of this project. We've created 500 construction jobs in the city of Sault Ste. Marie and throughout Ontario province. Mm-hmm. And the team has just done an outstanding job delivering this project.
What about takeout? Stelco, of course, is being bought by Cleveland-Cliffs. There was speculation about Algoma. I know you can't really reveal very much, but have you had approaches, or do you get takeover approaches from time to time?
I can't really comment on that. We are Canada's only public steel company in Canada. We have a wide and distributed shareholder base. We're listed on both the NASDAQ and the Toronto Stock Exchange, and our investors are from, all over both the United States and Canada. And they hold our stock because they believe on the journey we are on, and they believe that we are on the cusp of becoming one of North America's greenest and competitive steel companies.
Michael, thank you very much for joining us.